What's going on, TikTok family? Y'all chime in with me. It's Pioneer. God within fellowship. Talking about love, peace, meditation, quietness, still meditation, loving yourself, loving your life. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. Y'all come in, join with me. We're going to talk about life, relationships. If you got to chime in, ask to chime in. If you got a question, put a question. You got a statement, put a statement. Coming at you from the backyard, Mother Nature. Come on in. God within fellowship, ATL. We talking about love. We talking about peace. Hey, are you tired of not being peaceful? Hold on for me. God within fellowship, ATL. Just your boy Jason, aka Pioneer, coming at you from the backyard instead of the studio. It's beautiful outside. Hopefully you enjoying some beautiful weather wherever you are. I'm over at the ATL. This God within fellowship, ATL. We're not a church. We're not a church. This is a movement. This is a movement about self-love. This is a movement. This is a room. We're gonna call it a movement, a room about self-love, about learning how to navigate through life. Yes, use scripture, use God, but also realize that God within you. Greater is he that's within you than he that's in the world. That's what God within fellowship is about. It's about being taught. It's about God within you. It's about greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. That's what it's about. God within fellowship, ATL. I'm over here in the ATL in the backyard. Got Mother Nature behind me. Hopefully you've enjoyed this holiday that we celebrate here in the United States. But if you're tired of not being peaceful, if you're tired of not leveling up to the way that you know that you can level up, follow me, join the journey. Let me teach you, let me show you how to get to the point where you can be peaceful, where you can relax, where you can not have anxiety all the time. And it's through stillness, it's through peace, it's through stillness. Let me ask you a question. How uncomfortable are you willing to be to get to the point that you want to be in life, at least that your mind tells you that you want to be? How uncomfortable are you willing to be? Because it is an uncomfortable journey to change. How uncomfortable are you willing to be to change? That's the question. How uncomfortable are you willing to be and to become until you become that person that you keep thinking that you want to be? Because neuroscience shows us, neurology shows us that, remember, your brain is the organ inside of your body. Your brain is the organ inside of your body. So with that being said, if the brain is the organ inside of your body, what is your mind? Your mind is the spiritual part. That's what I believe. Your mind is the spiritual part of you. Your mind will tell you so many times that you that you want to do something. However, your body and your brain fight against you. So my question is, how uncomfortable are you willing to be to get to the point where you are more peaceful, where you have less anxiety? Even if it takes for you admitting that to yourself that you need to go get some type of medical help. There's nothing wrong with getting medical help. In order to get medical help, though, you have to be to the point where you are okay with getting medical help and you love yourself regardless. And you love yourself regardless. That's what God Within Fellowship ATL is about. It's about loving you, loving the God within you, loving who you are regardless of what the past have told you, regardless of what you've told yourself. And share this with someone. Share it with someone. If this is something, if you know there are people that are in your circle and they are tired of not being peaceful, they go up and down all the time emotionally, not able to accomplish what you say. And it's not all the time your fault. Yeah, it's hot out here. I'm in Atlanta. It's hot out here today, but guess what? We're going to enjoy ourselves in the backyard. Little breeze coming on out here. Wanted to go live with you this morning. God Within Fellowship ATL. I'm Jason, aka Pioneer. I'm here for you. I'm here for you. How tired are you of not being peaceful, of not loving yourself, of feeling condemned? Let me help you. Let me help you. It's a process. One of the processes is still meditation. Still meditation. You got to believe that. You got to believe that. If you don't believe that through meditation and getting to know who you are, will help you become a better person and help you love who you are. That's one of the things also God Within Fellowship is about. It's about you being okay with your faults until you get to the point where you are okay with your faults and you can be content with them, however, not be complacent. You can be content where you are and continue to strive to go where you want to go in life and not be complacent. But it's okay. It's okay to be content where you are. Now, you don't want to become complacent where you are. You want to continue to all the time grow in life. You want to grow in life, and whatever area, whether it's financial growth, whether it's spiritual growth, whether it's growth within your relationships, let me help you. Let me help you. It's through stillness. It's through meditation. I've been seriously meditating now roughly 5 to 7 years. I've always known about meditation. My background, let me share with you a little bit of my background. My background is from a traditional church. I was a leader in a traditional church. I was a pastor in a traditional church for over 25 years, as far as deeply teeth sank into Christianity, into Baptist religion. And it was through some losses, it was through some hurts, some pains that I literally started questioning God. And not necessarily questioning God, because I always knew there was a God. I always know there's a God. Questioning the way that I approached God. And through the scriptures and some of the scriptures, one of the main scriptures that really started God Within Fellowship is the scripture that says, greater is he that is within you than he that is in the world. So God gave me God Within Fellowship to remind people that God is within you. Now, we're not talking about whether you're a Buddhist, whether you're Hindu, whether you're Muslim, because let me share this with you. There's one thing that every faith has in common. Let me sit back on that one. There's one thing, hopefully you can still hear me sitting back. There's one thing that every faith has. It doesn't matter if you're Hindu. It doesn't matter if you are a Christian. It doesn't matter if you're a Muslim. It doesn't matter what you are. It's one thing that every faith has. And God Within Fellowship, this is where I became very comfortable with knowing and being very comfortable with starting to teach this to people. And that one thing is that as a man thinks, so is he. Every faith believes that as a man think in his heart, so is he. So God Within Fellowship, that's God Within Fellowship ATL, that's what we're about. It's about the God within inside of you. It's about sitting down, teaching you to fight through the thoughts, and not like fight, but there are systems and techniques that you can use to get you to be a calmer person even outside of your meditation. And a lot of that has to do with your thinking process. People say, well, it's very hard for me to meditate. Well, yeah, it's hard for you to meditate. It's very hard to meditate. I'm not gonna lie. It is hard to meditate. You have to, what's that? Pastor shares a journey to self-love. Okay. So it's very hard to meditate. Yes, it is very hard for you to meditate. As you continue to meditate, though, it becomes easier. Now, let me share this with you. Coming from a traditional background as far as pastoring a traditional church, I was always taught through schooling and through other mentors that were traditional Baptist preachers, was taught prayer. Nothing wrong with prayer. Now, let me share this with you about prayer. And I hope you can hear me when I sit back. One thing about prayer, let me share this. My philosophy on prayer, my thoughts on prayer, is that prayer is something that you asking God for. Prayer is something that I believe that in America, because I have not gone outside of America. I don't study outside of America, but I know for me and the religion that most Americans have been taught, prayer is something that you beg God for. Prayer is something that you ask God for. Well, it was through 25 plus years in the traditional Baptist church that I would pray for things and I wouldn't get them. And I thought I was doing the right thing. I mean, if I was tithing correctly, I mean, if I was treating my family correctly, if I was reading enough, if I was praying enough, and just things did not pop. Things did not happen. I would try to start going to the gym and exercise. I would try to eat right. I would do all these things, and I was still praying and like, God, please. There were many times that I'm literally praying and begging God for things. Literally praying and begging God for things. And I thought, man, it's got to be, am I doing this right? Am I literally doing this right? Am I doing it right? Well, it was through some losses that as I continue to be vulnerable and share with you, I share with you some of those losses, and it was through some gains. It's been through some, it's a process, and you have to want it. You have to want it. I remember the first time that I sat down and really started meditating. There were so many thoughts that went through my head that I did not want to address within myself. So many thoughts, and anybody that has tried to sit down and meditate know about that. I wasn't doing it correctly. It was through self-study, through reading, through YouTube, through reading books. I don't have the book out here that really changed my life, and it's called Inner Size through John Ossoff. Hopefully AI will pick that up. Let's pick that up. Say it's Inner Size, just like exercise, and it's through John Ossoff. That life, along with the Bible and along with who I was ready to become then, helped me realize that there was a lot of things in my life that really, not putting the blame, but there were a lot of things that really wasn't my fault. It's a lot of things that's not your fault. It's because of DNA. It's because of how you was raised. because your brain is developing once you come into this world and you're born. And science tells us that by the age of approximately 8 years old, that your concept of things is pretty much set. You still have to 13, but as far as things naturally coming to you, around the 9 years old, your thought process of the world is science says is pretty much set at that time, unless somebody else is pouring in your life and showing you a different path. So for me, meditation has literally changed my life. Don't forget to share. You can look at my feed here. I exercise now. I ride bicycle now, and all that I contribute to me meditating and visualizing. Because when I was in a traditional church praying, begging God to help me stay consistent with working out and consistent exercising, it wasn't happening. It wasn't until I literally started sitting my ass down and meditating and visualizing what I want that the consistency came. And at first it was really, really tough. Because at first I made a decision. I just wanted to sit still and just get to know myself. Right now, there's so many meditation techniques. One meditation technique that I can share with you is that it's a technique that you would sit back. I'm gonna do it with you. Let's do one minute. It's about a 30-second, and you don't even have to take 30 seconds. It's about a 30-second meditation. What you would do is you're gonna breathe in. Let me share with you first how you would do that. You'll breathe in slowly, 4 counts, and when you're breathing in, you make sure, excuse me, when you're breathing in, you're making sure that you're counting, and you're counting to 4 as you breathe in slowly. So you'll breathe in slowly, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you'll be counting as you're breathing in. And then once you do that, then once you get to 4, you'll pause, and you'll be counting 1, 2, 3, 4 as well. And once you count to 4, then you will exhale slowly, and you'll be exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4 as well. And that helps slow your neurological system down, your brain, your nerves. Now, some ask, why the counting? Well, the counting and you breathing helps slow your thinking down, because you cannot think 2 thoughts. Most people can't think 2 thoughts at one time. Now, I'm gonna be very vulnerable here. I have ADD. Okay? So for most people that have ADD, your brain is already thinking all the time. So I'm being transparent. I was diagnosed in 2010 with attention deficit disorder. My short-term memory is really jacked up, and it's just basically through the lack of firing in the neurons in the brain, because I've studied it, because I am that person that I want to know more about me and my physical body. So with that being said, with a person that has and deals with attention deficit, meaning that is not, and I heard Grant Cardone, I hope the system brings it up. Grant Cardone says, you don't have a lack of attention. He says you like more than one thing. He said he said attention deficit is not a flaw. You find several things interesting. And when I heard Grant Cardone say that, that really helped me even love myself even more. So for me, being attention deficit and my brain is consistently going all the time, I even heard another psychiatrist or psychologist say this: when you're attention deficit, it's like walking into a room with a bunch of TVs on, and all those TVs are turned up the volume just enough to hear enough of every one of those TVs. Let me give you that to you again before we continue on with meditation and continue on with asking you that asking you how much are you willing and how much are you willing to sacrifice to be uncomfortable, to do what you say you want. You may say you want a certain physique. Well, how uncomfortable are you willing to be to get that physique? And once you start, will you be able to be consistent? Why haven't you been consistent with doing something? Why haven't you been consistent doing something? So, this is what God Within Fellowship is about. It's a community, it's a room that I believe God had me to start for people, and through my process of now to the point of peace and to the point of knowing more and more about my human body, about my human behavior, about my neurological process, about my thinking, all that. So now I'm at this point. I would love for a lot of people to get the peace and the love and the joy that I deal with and that I have. It's not perfect. Nothing is going to be perfect. I share with you though that as long as you want to change your life, as long as you want to get to another level and you're willing to do what it takes, not to just talk about what it takes, if you're willing to do what it takes to get you to the area in your life that you want, regardless if it's finances, regardless if it's a physical, physique, regardless if it's relationship, how uncomfortable are you willing to be? How uncomfortable are you willing to be to get that? What are the steps are you willing to take? When it get hard, are you saying it's not worth it? Either you're going to be uncomfortable where you are, or you're going to be uncomfortable getting where you want to be. Let's say that again. Either you're going to be uncomfortable where you are, or you're going to be uncomfortable getting where you want to be, and then once you get there, then you may be still uncomfortable. However, you'll look back at the process, because again, this is not about me. This is about the sacrifices and the journey that I've had over the last 5 to 7 years, coming from a traditional Baptist church, being a traditional pastor. Around this time, I would have been in Alabama. I would have been preaching a sermon, or getting ready to preach a sermon, or been in church or something around this time right now. Instead, God has allowed me to go through these last 5 to 7 years where now I'm able to come on TikTok. I'm able to talk freely about my freedom, talk freely about how I love myself now, in spite of growing up and having PTSD from being a fat boy in school. Imagine having ADD back in the day where you're the chunky kid and you can't learn. Come on. Let me just share that with you. Chime in. Share with you. Think about that. And this is my testimony, and it's not about me. I'm sharing these things with you to give you a background on how this conversion has come, and the studies and the prayers and the meditations that I've done to get me to the point where now I'm literally at peace with who I am. Now, I'm not perfect. However, I am a lot more at peace who I am now than I was 5 to 7 years ago, and all the time that I was in a traditional church, because I felt so condemned all the time. Y'all excuse me, my mouth is getting dry. Sorry about that. It's a little hot out here. I don't know if y'all know about this Georgia humidity, this Georgia weather over here. But listen, just coming from that journey, 5 to 7 years, I know it's got to be some people out there that felt the same way, feel the same way, that want to get to the point where you're not a people pleaser, and you're okay with not being a people pleaser. See, there are some of us that we're wired. There are some of us that our DNA, because how we was raised, our DNA, we're people pleasers. There's a balance. That doesn't mean you got to be an asshole, but at the same time, doesn't mean that you got to allow people to run over you. So through meditation, through self-evaluation, through study, as I mentioned, through a book that really helped change my life, which is John Ossoff's book. It's called Inner Size. Inner Size, just like exercise, except it's called Inner Size. And he ain't paying me. I don't even know John. I used to study for a long time. I studied him and studied his book and then started meditating. And so now, as time has continued to go, I want to continue to grow myself so I can continue to help people, because when you grow yourself and you're teaching others, you're still learning yourself. I want people to respond as well. Anybody have any questions? Say, hey, what's up, Junior? Say hi. What's up, Junior? Listen, give me a wave. Listen, I'm Jason, AKA Pioneer. I'm over here in the Atlanta metro area. This is God Within Fellowship ATL on this Sunday morning, right at about 12:30. As I mentioned, my background is with a traditional church. I was a pastor in ministry, in the traditional ministry for over 25 years. It was through losses. It was through just questioning and things in my life that as I was praying, and let me say this, as I was praying, asking God for things and things wasn't happening, I just had to just start like, God, am I doing this the right way? And it's okay to believe in God. It's okay to believe that he showers down on you. However, the one scripture that caused God Within Fellowship to be formed is, greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. That's just one of them. That's just one of the scriptures that when God placed in me, that is like, it's okay to love you. It's okay for you to believe in yourself. Yes, believe in God. You got to believe in yourself. Think about this. God, even for those people that are Bible thumpers, God always used someone here on the earth. God always used a human being. And the human being that he used, that human being felt like they wasn't worthy. They wasn't ready. They felt like their flaws kept them from delivering the people or doing whatever it is that God wanted them to do. So it was through that study, through so many things that God shared with me. There are a group of people out there that they're hurting. They're hurting because the traditional church has hurt them by judging them. And then not only being hurt, not getting answers, living a life trying to be perfect, judging people, judging themselves, and then you still not getting to that next level that you want to go to. Well, God is like, listen, use meditation. Meditation is about what's inside. What you got?
Oh, okay, hold on.
We live. I'm at the crib. What we got?
Erica needs your QR code for your return. So if you can text her with that, she's going to Whole Foods.
Oh, okay. I don't even have it done. I hadn't even, yeah, I'll get it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Like I said, I'm at the crib. So y'all excuse me. I'm on an Amazon order. Y'all excuse me. But listen, God Within Fellowship ATL. It's about the God within inside of you. It's about you leveling up, using your gifts, learning how to use your gifts, learning how you don't have to always beg God for something. You don't always have to beg God for something. You don't have to. It's greater is he in you than he's in the world. He's giving you the power. People talk about power. All right, let's go to the book of Acts, when it talks about that God gave the people power from on high when they got the Holy Ghost. You got the power. You have the power. You have the power. Let me get that sunk into you. You have the power. You just got to have somebody to pour into you to get you to believe that you have the power. You can believe in God, but if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe in yourself, and your prayers, your answered prayers are in direct relation to how you feel about you receiving that prayer. Let me say that again. Your prayers, what you praying for, what you're begging God for, is in direct result or lack of result how you feel about receiving that. You have to know in your heart that you are worthy to receive what you're asking God for. You got to know that, and meditation will allow you to do it. So listen, I'm gonna come in here right now and look, just quickly share with a friend, a family member, follow me, because God blessed me through Podcast Summit over here in 2026. God put me around people where very, very soon we're gonna have a location. Let me say that again. Yeah, I'm gonna put that out there. Very, very soon, God Within Fellowship, we're gonna have a location. And what that location will do is we're gonna come in as a group, and we're gonna discuss, and we're gonna meditate, and we're gonna talk about how we could become better. Yeah, we can put scripture in there. It's open. I don't have all the answers. I don't have all the answers. People say, well, when I was in traditional church, people would say, well, yeah, go to the Bible. God got all the answers. I don't doubt that the Bible got all the answers. Now, on the flip side, sometimes the answers are not as easy for you to interpret as you like. Let me share with you where you will get the answer at. Sit your ass down to meditate. Sit down to meditate. Sit down and meditate with me. There's a process. And if you're saying it's so hard for you to meditate that your mind continues to run, yes, it does. Because guess what? When is the time that you actually sit down? When is the time that you actually sit down quietly? When is that? Somebody answer that. When is that? When is that? Somebody give me an answer. When do you sit down quietly? I'm gonna tell you when the answer is. Majority of people only sit down quiet time is when they're getting ready to go to bed. And then at that time, their mind continues to race about what they got to do tomorrow, what they didn't do the day before, what kind of argument. But what stillness meditation will do, if you dare to adventure, still meditation, meaning being quiet meditation, if you dare to venture there, you're going to find some things out about yourself that you don't even like. Really, you're going to find some things about yourself that you really don't like. You know now there's some things about yourself that you don't like. On the other end, when you meditate, that's going to be amplified, because you'll be able to admit, I don't like that about me. However, I'm okay with that. However, I'm going to continue to love myself past that. And not only love yourself, love others. Love others as well. Love others. So, God Within Fellowship ATL, I'm Jason, aka Pioneer. This room right here, this space is all about freedom. This space is all about love. This space is all about being calm. This space is about meditating, sitting still. It's about enjoying this life that God has blessed you with, how much ever time you have, how many ever summers that you have left. Stop with the anxiety. Stop worrying about everybody else. Stop worrying about failing. Stop worrying about it. Stop worrying about it. Just go do it. Just go do it. Fail. Look, stop being concerned. Look, I'm doing this right here. Fear will try to get you to not do certain things. Fear will try to get you to be like, oh, well, don't do it. It's not going to be perfect. That's all that is. That's all your brain is doing, is trying to protect you from doing something outside of what you normally don't do. So listen, it's got to be late. Oh, what thing up here got 12:30? I was all wrong on the time. It's 3:30. I woke up late. I'm being real. Listen, it's 3:30 right now. I'm Jason, aka Pioneer, coming from God Within Fellowship ATL, where it's not a church. I tell you what we are. We are a room, a group of people, a foundation for people that are willing to be uncomfortable to get to the point that they want to be in life, where you don't have so much anxiety, you're not worrying, you don't allow things to upset you as much, that you think through things, that emotionally You become more intelligent. You become stronger through meditation, quiet meditation, through reading, through getting taught, through me putting a seed, through me sowing a seed in you to help you not be so upset, to help you realize that nobody makes you mad. Let me say that again, if anybody will listen. Nobody make you mad. Nobody make you mad. You allow yourself to get mad, but there's nothing nobody can do to actually make you mad. So for me, when I get upset, my term now is I allow that to upset me. I allowed that to upset me. I allowed that to take, but we've gotten so accustomed. We've gotten so accustomed to blaming other people about how we feel. So we become victims. And then on top of that, not only do you become a victim with that, you don't take accountability for yourself. But what quiet meditation will do through reading books, through studying, through getting yourself around people like myself, God Within Fellowship, ATL, to remind you and to encourage you that greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world, and to encourage you that it's okay. It's really okay. It's really okay, because guess what? When you breathe your last breath, it's done with then. It's done with then. When your health is so bad that you can't do anything, it's done with then. See, that's why I thank God that he put it on me, and the losses and the the criticism and everything that I went through to get me to the point now where I can be vulnerable and share with people that, yeah, I was in a traditional Baptist church for years as a pastor. Pastored 3 different churches, taught, preached at several different people's churches, and still myself, I was sad and miserable. At that time, I didn't really know how sad I was. I did know I was a little sad. I knew I felt judged all the time. And it's like, why do I feel judged all the time when people would preach there's freedom in Jesus Christ, and there's freedom in the church, and there's free? I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it. Excuse me, I'm thirsty. I didn't feel it. And then after I, for years and years, continued to do what I thought that was, quote, right in the eyes of God, in the eyes of people, at the end, guess what? It was nobody but me. Nobody but me. I was laying my heart out, doing what I thought that'll make people happy, doing what I thought, all this, that, and the other. And at the end, like I said, as y'all join me more, I'll tell you about the L's that I took to get me to the point now where basically that I'm at the point now and becoming better at the point where it's like, you know what? I'm growing regardless. I'm looking at all areas of life. I'm looking at human behavior, looking at my thought process, my brain, my mind, neurological, everything. I'm looking at that. And so with all that being said, God has put in my heart, I love teaching, because I've taught for years. I taught for years. When I pastored churches, I preached 52 sermons a year. Taught Bible school 52 weeks out of a year. I would teach. So I love to teach. I used to be a middle school teacher, a paraprofessional back in Alabama. So I love to learn and love to teach. And so if it's not but 1 or 2 people that are out there with me, that you had some trauma that happened, that maybe you wasn't like me. Maybe you wasn't a fat boy with attention deficit in school that couldn't learn nothing. That the teachers always told your parents, he just lazy. He just don't want to learn. Maybe I'm the only one that grew up like that. Maybe I'm the only one that grew up where your cousins and everybody was, quote, better looking than you. and you had to sit there and deal with that, being the chubby kid with keloid skin, and you having a hard time learning, and then God calls you to preach in your 20s, and you think you're doing the right thing preaching, and you're learning, and you giving your heart to people and your family, and then 25 plus years later, that everybody, well, not everybody, but 25 plus years later, the people that you thought you were serving, they turn their back on you. What do you do at that point? What do you do at that point? But I want to share with you how to get to the point where your losses, relationship losses, financial losses, just any type of losses, where you can learn from those, and then how to use meditation, still meditation, sitting still, different meditation techniques to help you. Yes, meditating is hard. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's not. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that meditation is not hard. It is. That's why the question I've been asking, how serious are you, or how dedicated will you be to become who your mind tells you that you want to be? Because remember, let me share with you this. Most of you realize this, most of you might not, but your brain and your mind is two different things. Let me share this with you. Your brain and your mind is two different things. Your brain and your mind is two different things. The brain is the organ inside of your head. Your mind is for me, my belief, the mind is the spiritual side of you. That's your creative. Let's get into your imagination. The Bible even talks about your imagination. See, these are the types of things that in the traditional church that I would try to teach people. They don't want to hear about using your imagination. Shit, they just want to just give it to God. Well, hell, God gave you an imagination. Do you know everything? Think about this. Everything that you physically see, including this right here, everything started with a thought. Everything started with a thought. So your mind is telling you that you want to exercise. Your mind is telling you that you want to get your finances straight. Your mind is telling you all this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And then you be excited. You have adrenaline. You're inspired. You're motivated. But then guess what? Phew. You know why that happens? It's neurological. It's in your brain. It's the way you're hardwired. And one of the ways that you can get away from that is through still meditation. Now, people will debate me on that. People are like, I ain't got to still. Well, maybe you don't. I've had debates with people say, well, I don't like to sit still and meditate. I don't think that meditation, sitting still, is basically the best way. Well, when you get to the point where you can do something consistently that you've been struggling with, and you have a system and a process that you've done that, then you come to me. But until now, my process and my system has been still, quiet meditation over years. Over years. I don't mean just like, I don't mean you got to be consistent all the time. All the time. You don't have to go into a deep meditation every day. However, you gotta have some quiet time where, let's do this, where you just sit still a minute. See, I got to the point now, and it was just over years, where I can close my eyes. I had no thought in my mind at that point in time other than just being quiet and meditating. And even I heard the music, but again, you get to that point repetitive. You got to do it. When I first started meditating, all kind of childhood trauma came up, how I felt came up, and it was through just studying in this word called mindfulness. Mindfulness. I even looked up what mindfulness is. Mindfulness is a old Buddhist word. I can't think of the original word. However, mindfulness came from Buddhism. Okay? And basically mindfulness, the definition of mindfulness is observing your thoughts with no judgment. Observing your thoughts with no judgment. Now, what happened with that, I just would be like just observing your thoughts. And I thought about the no judgment. My wife and I debated one time, and she said, well, it's got to be with no judgment. I'm like, no, it doesn't. And I thought, you know what? It does have to be with no judgment. Even though I was to the point where I'm not judging my thoughts anymore. I mean, and that's the thing that we as human beings, you want to be okay with how you think and don't judge that. However, be willing to have the desire to change it and want to go through the process to change that thinking. There's a process you have to go through to change to change the way you think, especially if you're over, say, 25 years old. You got some work to do. You got some work to do. If you're over 25 years old and you want to change the way you think, you got some work to do. And you got to want to do that. You have to want to do that over staying where you are. If you're tired of being the one to complain, but maybe you're not, because some people enjoy being miserable. If you enjoy being miserable, God Within Fellowship, Jason, aka Pioneer, I'm not the one for you. If you enjoy pity parties, if you enjoy staying where you are in life, if you have no desire to grow, if you have no desire to get outside of your comfort zone, if everything is perfect in your life and you're perfect, your family is perfect, you eat perfect, if everything is perfect for you and you ain't got shit else in life that you want to work on, God Within Fellowship ATL, this room, this group, Jason, aka Pioneer, I'm not the person for you. God Within Fellowship ATL is about people that want to grow, people that want to be pushed, people that's okay with your emotions sometimes being like this because you don't know, and then at the end getting it all together through meditation, through thinking. Sometimes just sit back and just literally think and have wise thoughts. Just sit back sometime and just think. Don't think about nobody else. Don't think about what somebody done to you. Think about what you can do to change your own life without involving someone else. Think about that. How can you change your own life without involving someone else? How can you look at the situation differently without blaming someone else? Maybe it could be something as simple as your perspective. Take a different perspective. Stop being so offended so easy. Sitting still, mindfulness, meditation, it will help you with that. If you're tired of being offended all the time, if you're tired of having soft skin all the time, doesn't mean that you're gonna allow people to run over you. It does mean though that you gotta take off this facade to play like everything is okay all the time. Everything don't have to be okay. And you don't have to tell people everything's not okay. I want to teach you how to learn to walk even when things are not okay, how to deal with them as they're okay. You don't have to tell. We have to talk about stillness, talk about quietness, talk about relationships. I have over 25 years of marriage with one, and now we're 5 years in another one. So over 30-something years of relationship that I would love to share with people. About relationships, about just changing and being who you are and dealing with relationships and dealing with people through study and through process, all of that. So share with someone God Within Fellowship ATL. And as I mentioned earlier in this live stream, God bless me with Podcast Summit 2026, where very soon in the very near future, God Within Fellowship ATL, we're going to have a brick and mortar right here in the ATL, somewhere where people can come and meditate and talk about life with no judgment and listen to each other and enjoy living life. Even with the ups and downs that come with life, just enjoy it. Enjoy your journey. Don't be concerned about the things that are not important. prioritizing things. So all this is part of God Within Fellowship ATL. So share it with someone. And before I let you go, also I want you to go, if you can help me out, and go to the Philosopher's Table ATL, Philosopher's Table ATL, and that's with an asterisk behind the S. The Philosopher's Table ATL on YouTube. That's another platform where that platform is raw. Then it's rawer than this one. This one this is about your meditation. The other platform, we're gonna talk about everything. We'll talk about life, relationships. It's more uncut. Right now though, God Within Fellowship ATL, God Within Fellowship ATL is about the God within inside of you. It's about you realizing that and being okay with that. Even with all your flaws, God still lives within inside of you. God still lives within inside of you, even with all your flaws. And meditation will help you be okay with that, where there's some organizations that try to make you feel bad because you do wrong. Stop feeling bad when you do wrong, especially when you know that you have a loving heart. As long as you're not doing it maliciously, listen, love yourself. Love yourself. Even when you fall, even when you mess up, love yourself. Don't be where you can't be corrected. At the end, still love yourself and realize that you're not perfect. Realize you're not perfect. You're gonna mess up. You're gonna really mess up sometime. And I'm gonna emphasize the way that I normally do, because this word right here really says that if you really fucked up, it's okay. It's okay. Mess up is one thing, but if you've really fucked up some things, it's okay. You got another day. If you got another day to do it, let's do it. Allow me to show you how I went from this process of feeling judged, this process of being in a traditional church for years and not seeing personal growth in my life, now to the process where I exercise on an often basis, where I ride a bicycle, and God blessed me yesterday, I was able to ride 19.22 miles on a bicycle, consistently exercising, doing these things, and this through meditation. Now it's time to up it some more. Let's talk about prosperity. Let's see how we prosper financially, not just financially, how we bless others. All this is a part of God Within Fellowship, teaching about the whole man and learning from each other. Let me say that I want to make sure that you all know it's not just about me. It is not just about me. This is about a community of people that want to learn from each other, that be open to discussion. And then at the end, you take what I've shared and you be like, man, I could use that. And then I take what you shared and I be like, damn, I never thought of it that way. It doesn't matter if you're Catholic, it doesn't matter if you're Hindu, it doesn't matter if you're Muslim, it doesn't matter if you're Baptist or Christian. If you have a philosophy that I can use to help me be better in my life, I want to click up with you. And I pray that it's the same with me, that through my experiences and through my learning and through me teaching myself and teaching others, that we'll have a community of people that will feel free about who they are, and they can love themselves. And by them loving themselves, man, you can love everybody. You can love everybody. So listen, I'm finna get ready to shut this down. I wanted to come to you live from my backyard, coming over from the ATL. This is God Within Fellowship ATL. Just wanted to come live with it and show you some love, as this community has continued to show me love, and I continue to want to share with people how to grow and get to the point where you can totally be free. I mean, you can literally totally be free in your mind. You can totally be free. Not that it will be perfect, but when I say you can be free to be who you are in spite of where you've come from. Because a lot of us come from areas in our life where people and organizations have had us to feel bad about who we are. God Within Fellowship ATL, I would never have you to feel bad about what you've done or what you have not done. If you feel bad about it, it's going to be something that is internal that you just feel bad about it. But as far as me trying to preach you to heaven, to live right, or to send you to hell because you ain't living right, that's not what God Within Fellowship is about. God Within Fellowship is a fellowship, is what it is. It's a fellowship. Let me just say as now, it's a fellowship, because I've been asked, well, what is it? What is not? Well, let me just narrow it down. God Within Fellowship ATL is a fellowship. We'll say that. It's a fellowship. Like-minded people that believe in peace, believe in love, believe in philosophy, believe in love and life, believing that you're going to make mistakes in life and not judging yourself, not judging other people, doing your best to allow other people to know that you love them past their faults. And if they can't receive that, for you to even be able to say, I'm okay if they don't receive that. You got to be okay with people not receiving certain things that you want them to receive. So, it's 3:51. God Within Fellowship ATL. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to follow. I'll be doing more and more live sessions on that, just on meditation. We'll have a live meditation I'll put out. We'll do a live meditation session, voice guided meditation session in the very near future. So I want to come on here and just encourage the community to love yourself and to realize that greater is He that is in you than he that is in the world, and that you can overcome anything. And I'm working on some things for the community to help people with meditation, different techniques of meditation. I don't have the book that I've studied that I continue to refer to, which is Inner Size. Maybe see if I can reach out to John Ossoff and ask him if I could, we can teach that book, and show you how that book actually helped change my life, because Inner Size is a book that talks about your brain. It talks about how to overcome certain things, sitting down together. Dr. Joe Dispenza, I'm dropping these names, hoping AI will pick this up. Dr. Joe Dispenza, John Ossoff, those two right there, Dr. Wayne Dyer, Neville Goddard, Napoleon Hill. All these are my book mentors that I've continued to study over the years that have helped me change my life and be peaceful and be okay with things and not be rattled so much. Not be rattled. That's the purpose. That's the point. Just don't be rattled so easily. Just don't be rattled so easily. Get emotionally intelligent. Yeah, grow emotionally where you're not continue to blame people for how you feel. That's one of the things God Within Fellowship that I'll be teaching and be bringing home, is for you as an individual to not be the victim all the time, for you to take accountability take accountability and be okay. Taking accountability to with how you feel. And for you, one of the quotes that I've studied, Stoicism, which is Marcus Aurelius, he talks about that when a man gets to the point where if it's outside of his control, that he don't worry about it, that man is on his way to peace. Let me end with that, because I'm going to end at 4 o'clock. So if you got anybody that you want to tap in, we're going to stay here till 4 o'clock. Marcus Aurelius say this. This is what we're going to talk about the last 6 minutes. Marcus Aurelius says this. Marcus Aurelius, which was one of the great Stoics of past time. When the great Stoics, Marcus Aurelius says that once a man gets to the point where he can realize that if he can't control it and it's outside of him and he can't control it and he's okay with that he's on his way to be peace. Now, it's simple or it's easy, but it's not simple. Or we'll say it's simple, but it ain't easy. Let's go there. It's simple, but it's not easy. It's simple to say that if it's outside of my control, that I don't worry about it. That's simple to say, but it's not easy to do. That's how I do my best to live my life. When it's something that is outside of my control, I damn sure try. I'm not successful every time, but I damn sure try. If it's outside of my control, to do my best not to worry about it and to not even just be bothered with it. Now, it gets tough when it's your family members and it's in your close circle. Yes, it gets tough. However, through your still meditation that I can teach you on a consistent basis, through your still meditation of you getting internally, you'll be able to use that philosophy a lot better. You'll be able to be calmer when that person pull out in front of you in traffic and they shoot you a bird and pull out in front of you in traffic and shoot you a bird because you blew your horn. Still meditation will allow you, because you have learned to calm yourself down, to be like, what? That don't mean anything. I blew my horn at you because you pulled out in front of me, and now you shoot me a bird because you pulled out in front of me. 90% of the people will want to react on that. I don't react anymore. And how I got to that point is through still meditation. I used to react. Even if I didn't react outside, my emotions were so freaking torn up about it that I wanted to react so bad. But through still meditation, somebody pull out in front of me, I might not even blow the horn anymore. And that's being 100. That's on my name. Some of the people pull out in front of me, I don't even blow the horn anymore. Because guess what? I've just learned, just through still meditation, through slowing my thought process down, that when that happens, I've learned to take how many ever milliseconds to just think. Just think. So many of us now, 3:57, I'm closing out. So many humans now, especially in the United States, we're so reactive. We react. We're so reactive instead of being intentional. You react. And when you react, a lot of times you don't get the results that you want. When you're intentional, you'll end up getting the results that you want. And the way that you be intentional, for me, and this is what I'm promoting, you gotta learn to sit down and have stillness meditation. Now, some of you that see this, you're gonna try to sit down, you're gonna try to meditate, you're gonna be like, Pioneer, I can't do it. Well, reach out to me. Reach out to me. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to teach you how to sit down and get through the process and share with you some personal things that I had to get through and I had to go through to get to the point where I can sit down and meditate for an hour. I can meditate for an hour. I got to that point though over years. I can sit down and even now, will it be easy for me? Sometimes I struggle. Sometimes I just have to set the clock to 15 minutes. Excuse me, I done been on here, I guess, an hour, because TikTok got me doing this puzzle again. I guess to show that I'm a real person, that I'm on here. So, gotcha. It's 3:58. Top of the hour at 4 o'clock is Eastern time. I'm over here in the ATL, metro part of the ATL. I'm Pioneer. I'm the founder of God Within Fellowship ATL. And God Within Fellowship ATL is what it is. It's a fellowship. It's about people, a community of people that believe in the God within themselves. First of all, the founder, myself, do not believe in condemning anybody. You will never get any judgment. If anything, you'll get some love from me. You'll get like, just don't worry about it. Look, if you want to fix it, let me help you fix it. Let me show you the process. But never will you get any kind of condemnation from me. God Within Fellowship ATL is what it is. God Within Fellowship ATL is a fellowship. And I hate to keep saying that it's not a church. When people see that, they automatically think that God Within Fellowship is a church. No. God Within Fellowship, it's not a church. If you want to call it a church, it's so far from a traditional church as possible. I'm the founder. I use profanity sometimes, so I'm a realist. I love people. I love to see people level up. I mean, I'm gonna close this at 4 o'clock. One of the people that I love in here, a hip hop guy, and he evolved himself, is Gucci Mane. Man, I love his story. That's what I love. Anybody that's willing to start one place and end up somewhere else, I love their story. How he's matured, went from A to B to C. That's what life is about. Life is about evolving. So look, it's 4 o'clock, top of the hour. Peace, love, peace, happiness, increase. Don't forget, to keep the love of Christ in your life. And don't forget to share. Don't forget to follow. I'll be going live more and more often. We're going to be teaching more and more and more about still meditation. And God real soon has allowed me to connect with some people that God within Fellowship ATL. We're going to have a place to actually meet in Atlanta real soon. Love, peace, happiness, increase. Don't forget to keep the love of Christ in your life.